So I'm the owner, I guess overseeing everything, actually doing everything. If I have an employee that's away, I'm helping customers, I'll open boxes, like I do it all. But basically, my main role is to kind of see the vision for the company, to set goals, to see where we're going in the next few months, the next year, the next 5 years, and make sure the place is running smoothly.
What does your typical day look like?
Oh gosh, so I actually have a few jobs. I'm also an accountant. So I work from home for that accounting job. It's for a gravel pit company. Some days I get up, I go to the store and just start doing paperwork there for the store, or start doing whatever needs to be done. Other days I work from home and I do the accounting work for the business. Some days I'm running out to a meeting, I'm going to a buying appointment, like it's so random every single day. And truthfully, it's part of the job. Part of being an owner of any business is building relationships and building trust with your customers and with the people in your community. So it is part of the job, and I like to do it, and I kind of think I'm good at talking. Maybe sometimes people are like, oh my gosh, get this lady away from me.
I just want to shop, go away.
Yeah. But no, it's a very, very important part of I always say, like, I'm kind of like the business development side of the business, and the ladies at the store run the store. And I'll make the connections, I'll build the relationships, I'll be present in the community in the evenings and weekends. And that's very important, no matter whether it's clothing or selling furniture or whatever. It's an important piece of owning a business.
Do you have a role model who inspired you to start a business?
There'd be lots. Like, I don't have one that I can pinpoint that was like a game changer or a significant moment in my life. But I actually didn't know anything different growing up. My parents were entrepreneurs my whole life. They started being entrepreneurs before I was even born. So I don't even know any different. I don't know what it's like to live in a house where your parents are 8 to 5, kind of clock in, clock out, and then you got your weekends and evenings free. Because as a business owner, you don't have any free time. You're working 24/7. So I've always wanted to do that, and I think just because I, again, didn't know anything different. But then as I got older and, just started understanding business, and even just work, like listening to speakers and motivational speakers, there was a turning point where it made me start my business, and that was like a Tony Robbins. I'd like to think that there was a female, like, inspirational. I mean, I do have a lot of female mentors, but going to Tony Robbins and hearing him and listening to him and all the speakers he had with him that day was definitely the pivotal moment that I turned to my friend and said, I'm doing this, I'm starting my business. And I held myself accountable by telling her, or I had to help hold myself accountable because I told her, I put it out there. So that would have been like, the biggest influence, but I was already trying and working on it. I was just always saying, like, when my kids are older, in a couple of years, and then I was like, what am I waiting for? And when you hear Tony Robbins, you can't, like, you're so motivated that you just want to do everything now. So yeah, that would kind of be my person.
Seems like a bunch of little inspirations just accumulated.
Yeah, absolutely. There's like a whole ton of them, and now that I've started listening to podcasts and hearing more speakers, I mean, there's way more, and there's amazing business owners out there, like female business owners, that inspire me every day and that I look up to.
Is there a motto that you operate your life and business by?
We like to operate with integrity and honesty. And that's one thing I tell anybody I hire right from the get-go. Little things like, if somebody says, how do you wash this? Or how does it wash after, or how does it look after one wash? Or how do you wash this material? if you don't know, you don't know. Just be honest about it, right? Like, don't try to lie and make something up. So that is super key to being super honest. Have lots of integrity, own up to your mistakes. That's kind of how, I not treat, but just try to raise my own kids. So our family values carry into the business values. Just honesty, really. I don't like it when people are dishonest with me, so I wouldn't in turn be dishonest with them.
Are you involved in the communities that you live in or work in, like your industries at all?
Well, my industry is like really quite small in this town, just because we're a smaller city, smaller town. But a neighboring, like we call each other our boutique bestie, is in a neighboring small community of Leduc. And so in terms of being involved, we've become close friends. We share tips and tricks, and we communicate with each other, help each other out. There are a few other clothing stores in my community, and we've certainly, try to shop there or just comment and like on their posts or do what we can. And yeah, if there's room for collaboration, then that's great. At the beginning of COVID, so it's a long time, feels like a long time ago now, that's 2 years ago, there was another boutique in town, no longer here, approached all the boutiques and to do like a giveaway for COVID. And we partook in that, and that was a lot of fun because now I'm actually really, really good friends with her. So it's a small industry, but I mean, we kind of all know who we all are. Maybe if you look at my industry as like a small business, like all the other small businesses, I mean, we're constantly, when we do a lot of fundraisers, and if we do giveaways, like we'll buy, one of our Mother's Day giveaways, we bought flowers from a local flower shop and then cookies from a local baker and made it into a prize giveaway with a few Dani and Madi items. So we try to do that a lot. So yeah, again, like my industry is very small in this town, but if you look at my industry as just being a small business industry, we are constantly doing stuff with other small businesses. At Christmas time, we do 12 days of giveaways, sort of. We do elfing. We go to different places, like we try to go to like an old folks home or a school, and we try to buy things from other small businesses to give to those, to like the teachers or the nurses, and to just thank them for their services, but also trying to support a small business at the same time. So yeah, we like doing that a lot because that, again, what you put out there will come back.
I read that you started a YouTube channel to interview inspiring women. What led you to want to pursue that?
So I started interviewing a couple women, and then this is at the beginning of COVID. And then I was asked by a local business here in Stoney to do pop-up shops every week at their store, every second week at their store. And it was an opportunity. There's no way I could pass that up, right? So the YouTube channel kind of got pushed off to the side. I just didn't have time. But then I hired myself a business coach, a life coach, confidence coach, whatever you want to call it. And podcasts were really starting to come out. So I thought, you know what, let's reach more people and do a podcast. And then this way, nobody has to live stream that, use up their data if they're driving or whatever. They can't watch anyway. So I switched it to a podcast. So I do have a YouTube channel, but we haven't posted stuff in a while. The other thing too is we used to go live at the store all the time, and we still do go live, but we used to post the video on the YouTube channel, but now Instagram and Facebook doesn't let you save the video. So little things that you don't anticipate, and of course that's Instagram and Facebook, we don't own it, so they can do those things. So basically I've switched it to a podcast, and it's called Designed to Inspire, and a new episode comes out weekly. One came out today actually. And I interview women and share their stories. And it's really, truly amazing what women have done. And once you hear their stories, it's pretty incredible how much we don't know the things that women do. So I try to, women in our community, or could be in our country, or even I did interview a personal stylist from the US that I just thought would be neat to get a perspective of a personal stylist given the business I'm in. But it's fun. I love doing it, and I will do it for a long time. It costs me money, but I'm so passionate about it that I trust that it will pay me at some point. But it doesn't even matter, and it won't ever matter, because I do it because I love it so much. And I think that we need to share these stories with the world, with our community, with everyone. I don't ever check the downloads or that stuff, but the best thing is when somebody texts me and will say, I loved that episode, or oh my gosh, that was so funny, or what a great story, or even just me learning about these women. I mean, there's a woman in our community. I had no idea she lived here, and she's kind of a big deal. I think that, that she's going to be somebody to watch out for, and maybe she will be the next woman of influence in our area, or one of them. So,
speaking of that, what does it mean to you to be recognized as a woman of influence? Oh
my gosh, I was like floored almost when I got the email or the letter. I was not expecting it at all. I think, I'm always trying to find women to recognize and share their stories, that I just don't assume that it's going to be me and my turn. So I was really shocked, and I was super humbled, and almost, I almost felt like, why me? And it's so funny, because when I ask women to interview them, that is often a response I get. And it's so interesting. Mm-hmm. And most women I ask to interview, like, well, I've done nothing. That's their response. I just get up and go to work.
I just do my job.
I have one friend who owns a car dealership that I'm trying so hard to get to interview her, but her response is, I just get up and do my job. And I'm like,
I'm not special. I don't have a special story, but you do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, is women are so humble, and it's not to tear down men. And I mean, there's a lot of humble men out there, but just naturally we've recognized them for years and years and years and years. So the fact that we haven't recognized women, we've been so humble, and we'd never think it would be us to be recognized. So that is sort of how I felt, but I'm super honored, and I'm humbled and flattered. And if I hope I can teach something to the younger generation out there, and I can't wait to see that upcoming generation. So if I can help them in any way, whether it's talking to them one-on-one, if they want to ask me questions. Again, first thing that comes to my mind is, well, I'm not really sure what I have to offer them, but I guarantee I do, and all the women that were recognized. So that part's pretty cool. And I just was really surprised, but I'm super grateful.
What was the hardest part of opening a business during the pandemic?
Everything. You know what? The hardest part, I would say, is not knowing if we were going to be shut down the next day or in a week, or what the numbers were doing. I was constantly watching that. It turned out that my industry didn't get shut down after I opened. They had done that once to my industry, but they did put restrictions up and down in terms of how many people we could have in store, which was really frustrating and hard, because then you look over at Costco and Walmart, and they're running, they're open, they're doing extremely well. Like, it's no surprise. We all know COVID has hurt small businesses significantly. So I think, that part of it, the fact that small businesses were affected the most, that was hard. But the thing is, not knowing how long COVID was going to last, there was no way I could not open a retail location, because if I did, somebody else would have. So there was no debate. It's got to be done. There's just no question. It has to be done. So it was hard, but I feel like I've gotten through the toughest parts, and it's not smooth sailing by no means, but I've learned a ton, and I just feel like it can only get better. COVID can't, like it's a blip in the road, you know, it's just like a recession or any other challenges we meet in life, but there's a way to overcome it. And mindset, oh my gosh, mindset was key. I did so much work with my mindset. I hired myself a coach just before I opened the store, which was one of the best things I ever did. And thank goodness, because there were days I wanted to quit, but then I contact her and she talks me through it and I don't quit. So yeah, no, you're absolutely right. You have to follow through with your dreams. And that's what I preach. I mean, if you go to my About page, I talk about how I want to encourage women to live out their dreams, which is part of the podcast. I want other women to hear the stories of women who have accomplished their dreams, or not accomplished, but are working through them, so that they can think, oh, well, if she dreams that and can do it, then I can dream my dream and do it as well. And that's was one huge reason about the YouTube channel, which turned into the podcast, was I want women out there to think exactly what you just said. Like, if they can do it, then why can't I? You know, it's same with our kids. Like, you know, I certainly, I preach a lot about women, but I have a boy and a girl, and I preach to both of them exactly what I preach to grown women, is that you put your mind to it and you can do it, you dream it, you can make it happen. Sometimes I might push my daughter a little more just because of the barriers with gender inequality that we've come across, but definitely that's how we live our life in my family. So.
Do you have any goals for your business this year?
You know what, just to finish, like we're already more than halfway through the year, which is crazy. You know, our biggest goal, just to finish off this year, I mean, I've got some longer term goals, but we just want to see us able to help more women in our community. And by helping more women in our community, I mean, giving just that amazing service. When a woman walks through the door, making her feel welcome. Like, it's truly a lot more than just about the shirt we're selling, about the jacket, about the pair of pants. We want these women to walk in our store and feel an experience like no other. We want them to feel extremely welcome, no matter how they look, any disability they might have, whatever their financial background is, it doesn't matter. If somebody wants to come in and just talk, then they can come in and just talk. And actually, that was one of the really great things about opening up in COVID. I'm a talker, I've said this before. It was so great for me because I was working from home and I had a place to talk to people when everyone else was working from home and not allowed to go anywhere. People, we had a mask on, but people would come in the store and we'd be able to chat. And that was so good mentally for both people. And we continue to do that. If you just want to come in the store because you need an outlet, you need a safe place to be, or just somebody to talk to just feel good, then that's our place. And so we really, really want to increase the awareness of that experience in our store. Again, it's not about the shirt. It's about how you felt when you bought the shirt, or how you felt when you put on the shirt. Even price, a lot of times. Sometimes we'll put things on sale and people don't care because they don't care about a cheaper shirt. I mean, some people do, and we need everybody to make, stores run. But a lot of times that doesn't matter. It's how good they feel, and if they trust the owner and their employees, and they feel leaving like they want to come back like the next day. So yeah, that's our goal for this year, and then we've got bigger goals after that.
Going to school for accounting, did you ever think your life would turn out this way with a passion for stories and business?
Oh, that's a good question. No, I didn't. But truthfully, I didn't go to school for accounting. I went to school for business because I knew very young that I'd hope to have a business one day. I didn't quite know it was fashion and sharing women's stories and all that, but I just ended up an accountant because the program said you have to pick a major, and I thought, well, accounting is my favorite class and my best mark, And then somebody said, well, you have to pick a designation. And I thought, what? Because back then there was 3 accounting designations. Now there's just one. So then I picked a designation. And then of course you have to work at an accounting firm, and then, you do your accounting job for however long you want. And typically you stay in an accounting firm, but I've always just wanted to own my own business. I didn't want to do taxes and be an auditor, and that was just not my jam. But it has 100% helped out with my business. I mean, accounting and the books is probably one of the hardest things about running a business, and I can say I know how to do that. So that part is wonderful. But in terms of sharing the stories, I've always felt that way, even as a little girl. So yeah, I don't know exactly if there was a moment or how come I just felt so strongly about that. But just at a very young age, I was very passionate about girls shouldn't have those certain roles. And we can do anything we want to. And I think that's part of why I wanted to own a business, is that I wanted to be able to show people that, yeah, I'm a woman, but I can still own a business on my own without financial help of any man in my life. And I think it's I'll show you. And I don't know why. I don't know why I felt that way, but I think for far too long it was a lot of men who owned businesses, and I think I just felt like I had a point to prove, and or I had to prove a point where I can do this too, just because I'm a girl. And I played hockey too, and I played hockey when girls didn't play hockey. I played college hockey, and so I just felt like, all these different things that are typically masculine roles, I wanted to show no way, we can do this too. If girls want to, why can't they? So that's where that stories part came from. It's just ingrained in me from I don't know where, just at a very, very young age.
What is your favorite part of the job?
Oh, the people. Absolutely. I have met so many incredible people. And, I go back to the podcast, the part that I just joke about it costing me money, and it's being my favorite part. I kind of say the podcast and meeting women and sharing their stories is truly my passion. I love fashion, which is why I got the store, but the store is sort of like my platform for the podcast, because I meet so many women through the store. I have met a good chunk of my podcast guests because of the store. So 100% it's meeting these women, even just the staff I've had. I've met so many incredible young ladies in our community, their families, and their friends, and then the customers. It's just really endless. The vendors,